Hello everyone, back to your day's third video. We're going to have a look at the weather next 10 to 14 days for today's third video. Day 10 is going to take us around the 16th of February. We'll be able to extend out beyond that. We extended GFS and ECM ensembles. We're running around a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. It'll take us into the early part of March. It's a busy day, busy time at GWV. The beast is being unleashed to some degree. Anyway, in the weekend, have a look at weekend forecast. It's been released this afternoon. It's probably the coldest weekend forecast that we've done for around 3 years since the Beast from the East 2018. So yeah, very interesting week ahead. Have a look at that. Also, the ECMWF 42-day forecast has been released. So that's looking at the weather for the next 6 weeks with a long-range extended ECM model. Check that one out if you would like to do that. I've got a channel members live stream coming up at 5 o'clock. So if you're a channel member, you're around YouTube at 5 o'clock, check into the channel members live stream. I'll have a chat about an hour. Go over what's happening this winter and just generally hang out, have a chat for a little while this evening from 5 o'clock. If I have time, around 7, 8-ish, I'm going to try and get Snowwatch done for you. It just depends what time I've got this evening, but it would be nice to get a Snowwatching today as the easterly is developing all the time. Right, now, before we get on with 10 to 14 days, I've got a few people to shout out. So I'm going to say thank you so much for our latest PayPal donation to Fluff. Thank you so much to Fluff for our latest PayPal donation. Thank you so much for doing that, Fluff. Incredibly kind, incredibly generous. Thank you so much for doing that. If you'd like to give a donation to GWV through PayPal, all you need to do is go to GWV's PayPal page. You can find the link in the description with the videos and also on all pages at GWV.com. So just come to paypal.me page, sign into your PayPal account, and yeah, thank you so much everybody for doing that. You can give whatever donation you would like. Thank you so much to Fluff for doing that. Thank you to all donors. Thank you to all patrons as well. Thank you so much. Also, I'm going to shout out, we did live stream last night. We had loads and loads of super chats last night on the live stream. It's an incredible live stream. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Everybody, I may have been a little bit too much for some of you, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And if not, I'm going to be back to normal on Sunday's live stream. I promise you I will. But we had loads and loads and loads of super chats. But one I missed. It wasn't a super chat, actually. Somebody donated through Streamlabs, and I missed that. So as well as doing super chats, you can donate through Streamlabs, and you do that through PayPal, really. So it's like PayPal through Streamlabs or Streamlabs through PayPal. I'm not sure, but anyway, you can donate through Streamlabs. I did get a donation, and because it was a super chat, it was a Streamlabs donation. I missed it. So I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to say I'm sorry for missing the donation. And thank you so much to Claire and Claire's partner Andy. Thank you so much to Claire and Andy for the lovely email that you sent me as well, and also, of course, for your donation. I'm so pleased that you are both enjoying watching the live streams, and especially the Giddy Gav live streams on a Friday night together. And thank you so much to Claire and to Andy. Thank you to all super chatters. We picked up loads of channel members as well. 3 new channel members on that live stream last night. You're all going to get a shout out in individual videos next week. Got more PayPal donors to shout out next week as well. It's incredible. The support for GWV is absolutely unbelievable all of the time. So thank you so much to each and every one of you for doing that. The support does not need to be financial. It can be through watching the videos, sharing the videos, liking the videos, subscribing as well, telling friends, family, doctor, vicar, everybody else to subscribe too. We have reached 10,500 subscribers. Now I've got to put another 500 subscribers, get to 11k. Subs are moving quickly again. If you haven't yet subbed to the channel, please can you give us a sub. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, let's get on then with the video. So we're going to start off with the latest observations from XC Weather. Here we go. Cold air is digging into the north, freezing across many parts of central and northern Scotland, freezing at Loch Glascarnock, freezing it out in Ahara, where else? Freezing just there at Aboyne. and freezing at Kirkwell Airport. And the other stations like Aberdeen only just above freezing too. Inverness at 2 degrees. So yeah, it's really cold in the northeast. Cold. East winds are going to be drifting, dropping southwards, although it is still reasonably mild in the south. If you like mild weather, make the most of it. Make the most of it. It's on the way out, this mild weather now, down in the south. We've still got 9 degrees at Hertsmanzow. Still got 9 degrees there at Lydd. We're still up to 9 degrees at Plymouth as well. Bournemouth is at 8 degrees. Isle of Portland is at 8 degrees. Shoreham is at 7. So along the south coast, it's reasonably mild, but you don't have to go too far north. Starts cooling down, just 3 degrees, probably in fog, I would have thought, at Fairford. 6 degrees at Church Lawford in sunny spells. Only 4 degrees now at East Midlands Airport. Doncaster at just 4 degrees, Linton-on-Ouse at 5, so kind of mid-single digits now across many central parts of the country. Those temperatures will fall away through the course of this afternoon. Belfast is at 6 degrees and going down into the Republic. It's 7 degrees at 8 at, where was that? Oak Park. Right, so those cold east winds are going to be descending southwards. Expect the temperature to drop, if anything, through the course of this afternoon and into this evening. There will be outbreaks of rain that will turn increasingly to snow through the evening and into tonight, and then we pick up the chance of significant and heavy snow in the east and the southeast late tonight and into tomorrow. Check out Weekend Forecast more, and we will try and update Snow Watch for you tonight. This our central temperature is currently looking as of the 5th of February. We're standing at 5.3 degrees. It's an anomaly of 1 degree above average. So it has actually been a reasonably mild sort of first 5 days to February. But, there's always a but, isn't there? The cold weather is on the way, and we're going to see this central temperature falling away over the next few days. So quite where this will be by this time next week, I don't know, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see where that is in the coming days. We'll be keeping a close eye on the CT, of course. I thought just have a little look at the February central temperature. So this is CT page at galswerbis.com. Got every year's CT all the way back to 1659 here. So central temperature is the longest and most reliable and consistent temperature record anywhere on Earth. Although, of course, the further back you go, more unreliable it gets. So you can get back to like 1659. It's only a sort of a snapshot, really, of what conditions were like back then. But you know, it's an indication. And like the final 200 years are pretty reliable. I think the final 200, 250 years are pretty reliable. Anyway, we'll come down to 2021. So, of course, we already have January in the bank. So, January CT came out 3.1, cold and average month, coldest January since 2010. This is where February will be placed, just here, of course. Look how mild it was last year in January and February, 6.4 and 6.3 respectively. We had another exceptionally mild February in 2019 too, 6.7. Summer-like temperatures, you'll remember, I'm sure, in the final week of February 2019 when we went up into the low 20s, didn't we? Our last cold February was 2018 when we had the beast from the east. That came out with a CT of 2.9. The averages are down here, by the way. So the average February CT for in terms of 61990 is 3.8. Average February CT for 81 2010 is 4.4. You notice that January and February CT really are the same. 4.4 for both months for 81 to 2010. And 3.8 for 61 to 1990 for both months. So equal chance of like January or February being the coldest month of the winter. But anyway, back to 2018. That was the last time I had a cold of an average February with a beast from east. I had a CT of 2.9. Before that, we have to go back to 2013, which was quite a cold February as well at 3.2. Then we have 2010. That was a pretty cold February also to 2.8. So that was another quite cold one as well. But in between, of course, we have that very mild February as well. 2017 at 6.1, for example. 2014 at 6.2. So February been kind of swinging between either being mild or cold, really. 2.8 in 2010 was the lowest the February CT has been this decade. Going even further back, though, we had a cold February in 1996. That came out with CT of 2.5. Our last very cold February was in 1991. This year, just here, February 1991, had a CT of 1.5. And that included an extraordinarily cold spell in the first week of February 1991. Can you believe that's 30 years ago? Now, it was setting in like today, 6th of February 1991, and the peak of it was like the 7th, 8th of February 1991, where temperatures stayed well below freezing. There was like a foot of snow across most of East England. It's absolutely incredible freeze-up. That almost on a par with the January 1987 freeze-up. The last time February had a below freezing central England temperature, by the way, was even further back. It was back in 1986. That one had a central temperature of minus 1.1. Exceptionally cold February, that one. So that's the last time February CT was below freezing. And other than 2010, December 2010, that's the last time we had a CT month that was below freezing as well, by the way. So before that, they tended to be a lot more common. For example, we get January's CT below freezing in 1979, and then of course we go back into the 1960s and we get 2 months below freezing in 1963, and the daddy of cold winters, January and February both had a CT below freezing. February 1956 also had a CT that was beneath freezing. And then of course we've got 1947 as well, extraordinarily cold winter, especially in February, which had a CT of minus 1.9. So those below freezing CTs were more common further back in the last decade. But other than December 2010, the last time we had a CT month that was below freezing was February 1986. That's not to say this February, don't get run away with the idea, but sort of hinting at this February we'll have a below freezing CT. I do not think it will. It's very unlikely that it will. But yeah, you know, that's the stats anyway. That's how the stats are looking for February. I thought you'd find that interesting. Right, these are GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. We're looking at London town today. The red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for London town. That temperature, upper air temperature and surface temperature is close to average at the moment, or a little bit above. It's downhill all the way though from here. By tomorrow we're going to be well and truly cold of an average. Going to stay cold through much of this coming week as well. Dates on the bottom of the chart. So yeah, we've got several days of very cold weather to come. Now, the warm-up at the end of this coming week and into next weekend, like the Valentine's weekend of the 13th, 14th of February. You remember yesterday we had very good agreement that it's going to turn milder. That is not the case today. We do still have several members of the GFS ensembles that are turning things much milder through the middle part of February. But look at all these ensemble members here that are either just keeping it cold throughout or turning it a little bit milder for a day or two and then bringing the cold weather back. So it's virtually now looking like a 50-50 split whether we turn it milder or not really through the middle part of February. And it is perfectly possible that cold air, cold weather may not only hang on into the middle part of February, it might actually intensify even more, to be honest. We'll go through the data in a moment, but I would not be wanting to be putting any sort of credence on the idea that it's definitely going to get milder for the middle of February, because it's by no means guaranteed. And then of course we just keep that split going into the second half of February, where we have mild ensemble members here, we have a lot of cold ensemble members down there. So it really is now looking very, very unreliable beyond sort of around Wednesday, Thursday onwards about what is going to happen with any change to milder weather. Precipitation-wise, got this big precipitation spike just here, associated with temperature dropping. So yes, there could be significant snow in with that, of course. And regular precipitation spikes coming through over the next few days will mean that there is a risk of snow at times as well. Temperature anomalies from the 6th through to 14th of February going to be colder than average. For IWUK, most of northern Europe plunged into the freeze. They're absolutely frozen up there for most parts of Europe. We're not as bad as that for IWUK, but we are going to be colder than average in the week ahead. Precipitation anomalies, bit of an east-west split. Eastern parts of the country are going to have above average precipitation. That's indicative of snow showers or even longer spells of snow coming in off the North Sea, of course. Drier than average out to west where we're sheltered from those easterly winds. This is the latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net. I've been keeping an eye on this all week. We've had easterly winds all week across Scotland, keeping those cold, keeping the cold weather going. But now the easterly is moving south. So I told you it would happen, didn't I? Now it's seeing that easterly wind moving southwards into England and Wales. Hasn't yet brought in very cold air from the east, but it's on the way. It's on the way. Those beastly easterlies will be dragging in bitterly cold air through the coming hours. Here's how the UK Met looks for Tuesday. A long fetch easterly wind with the air originating from Russia, flooding across northern Europe. And these east winds will be bringing in snow showers to eastern parts of the country as well. This little low from Tuesday through to Wednesday is interesting. It might bring some significant snow to the very far south and southwest. More likely it's going to give us a glancing blow and head off into France. Thursday, we find the next low developing in the Atlantic. That'll push a weather front, probably an occluded front, towards us. How far in that gets is open to some doubt, but it doesn't look like it's getting all that far, does it? So precipitation with that is probably through there. So for Ireland, England and Wales, there could be some snow from Thursday through to Friday. For Scotland and eastern parts of England, probably staying dry and remaining in those bitterly cold easterly winds. That's as far as we get with the UK Met. Let's have a look at GFS 12Z, 6Z I should say. Easy winds flooding across northern Europe on Tuesday, bitterly cold via northern blocking Wednesday. Will also be very cold as well. Then Thursday, low pressure starts to move in from the Atlantic, coming up against that block of cold air. Doesn't make all that much progress. That's where the weather front is as we go from Thursday through to Friday through into that sort of position. Again, could bring some snow to Ireland, England and Wales, and northern half of British Isles likely to stay dry and very cold. Now, into the weekend. This is different. You remember yesterday, by the Valentine's weekend of 13th, 14th of September, there were hints of a very mild southerly wind. Not the case today. What the GFS wants to do today is begin to intensify this Scandinavian high. So look at that. By Sunday next week, 14th of February, Valentine's Day, the Scandinavian high is going up to 1,055 millibars. That is a beast of a high pressure. The wind is swinging back round into the east again. And it could be starting to try and pull even colder air in from the east. Can you believe? Look how severely cold most of northern and central and western Europe is looking by next weekend. Now, actually, we don't quite pull in that easterly wind. So, the Scandinavian high does form, but the coldest of the air just about passes to our south and southeast. Look at that. But it is a very, very close run thing. And you only have to adjust that Scandinavian high ever so slightly further north. It's like centered like there. So it's like over southern Norway. It needs to get the really cold air from the east. It's like it needs to be about there. So it needs to go like 200-300 miles further northwards to centre around there. If it does that, then we're going to pull in that easterly. And it will be exceptionally cold easterly as well. So it is very, very close now. GFS is very, very close to pulling in exceptionally cold air from the east in around 10 days' time. What actually happens with this GFS run is that the high pressure sinks down over top of the country. It keeps us cold. There's no, no incursion of mild air at all, really. It just keeps us cold, but it would lose risk of snow, and we turn towards dry and frosty conditions, probably very frosty, with freezing fog around as well. And it stays cold into the second half of February as well, with this high pressure continuing to sit around the country. So yeah, very cold and frosty there with the GFS 12s there. Right, let's have a GEM is looking. Again, winds are in from the east, long fetch easy wind on Tuesday. Low pressure threatening some snow into the south and the southwest on Wednesday. Mainly dry Wednesday through to Thursday. Then low pressure trying to come in off the Atlantic. That could deliver a snow event to some parts of the country, most likely in the west actually, through the second half of the week. Again, similar to what GFS 6 said, is showing the GM also wants to start strengthening this high pressure over Scandinavia. And this looks a little bit more direct with that easterly, actually. So look at this, by day 10, that is, that's further north, that Scandinavian high is further north, and this really is very, very close to pulling in exceptionally cold air from the east, actually, at day 10. Look at the upper air temperatures, looking bitter, especially so for more southern and eastern parts of the country. We could see this cold weather actually intensifying now into the middle of February. I would not rule it out. It's going to be cold enough as it is in week ahead, but it may get more intense, you know, as we go through up to day 10. That's how the icon is looking. Again, easterly winds on Tuesday. East is still there on Wednesday, but coming a little bit lighter. Thursday, Friday, all the concern is about the battle between the high pressure to the east, low pressure to the west. It may deliver some snow. And then the icon does start turning things a little bit milder as it gets to next weekend. It tries to get that Scandinavian high going, but not as successfully as some of the other models. So this is like what yesterday's model runs were showing, really drawing up a mildish sort of flow from the south. And then we've got the ECMWF again, winds in from the east on Tuesday, a bitter cold easterly wind. Wednesday also looking bitterly cold, could be some snow in the south-southwest. Thursday, we start to move this low pressure in off the Atlantic, battles going on between the high pressure to the east, low pressure to the west. The ECM doesn't move that weather in to the country as far as like the GFS and other models are doing, so the ECM actually keeps us mostly dry and cold into the second half of next week. And then, similar to the other models, takes that high pressure up to Scandinavia for days 9 and 10. So yeah, Scandinavian high beginning to get going there. Looks like it's going to have a go at pulling in even colder air sitting to our east. All you got to do is lift that Scandi high just a little bit further northwards, lower the heights a bit more around Italy, and we're in for it. We're really in for it there. So yeah, you know, we're on the periphery by day 10 of some exceptionally cold air to our east. Whether we bring it in or not remains to be seen, but we're on the cusp of it. It's going to be cold enough in the coming days anyway. ECM looks like this in terms of the precipitation type forecast. So rain turning increasingly to snow through northern England down into Wales and the Midlands through this evening. And then into tomorrow, we've got this snow event courtesy of Storm Darcy across East Anglia and southeastern parts of England. Snow showers, meanwhile, further eastwards. It doesn't show those snow showers going very far inland, but I've got a feeling the snow showers will be more widespread than that indicates. Snow goes on through most of the day across East Anglia and the far southeast. Monday, snow showers again on the east side of the country with those easy winds. Again, some of them push inland. Doesn't really show them again through the Midlands, for example, but I think some will. Through to Tuesday, more snow showers in the east. Rain, sleet and snow just glancing into the far southwest. So for those of you down in Cornwall, a little snow through there. Otherwise, that low goes slipping southwards into France. Wednesday's a quieter day, and then the snow tries to get in from the west on Thursday, but struggles against that area of high pressure. And the rest of the time is basically just dry. A little bit of snow there by next weekend up across Scotland, but a lot of dry weather really with the ECM second half next week and next weekend. But of course, by then we're watching to the east to maybe start bringing in some very, very cold continental air. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Gets to the 16th of February. 19 members of the ECM ensembles, including the operational run at day 10, are threatening to bring in a bitterly cold easy wind with high pressure still to our north. Let's get rid of that. So I've also got 18 members here that have high pressure to the south, low pressure to the northwest. So that's going to be turning things milder at day 10. And then we've got 14 that have high pressure pretty much centered over top of the country. So that's going to be dry and frosty, but the easterly of that is probably passing to our south. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. So we have 28 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure blocking to the north, low pressure to the south. We could bring in a bitterly cold easterly wind, and that low pressure could be delivering snow to the south. And then we have 23 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure over Scandinavia. Still some high pressure left around Iceland, probably a bit northerly, northwesterly, and attempting anyway, I would have thought, to bring back a slightly less cold westerly flow. The majority option, though, is blocked and cold in 2 weeks' time. I'm sure you've noticed that. 54% to 45% keeps it cold up to 2 weeks out. Lastly, the CFSV 2 weeks, the 500 millibar heights break down to week periods. The first week period takes from the 6th to the 12th of February. The coming week will have blocking to the north, low pressure to the south, winds will be in from the east. It's going to be a very cold week, and there will be snow at times as well. Week 2 is going to be the 13th to the 19th of February. CFS wants to raise the heights to the south, so despite the blocking to the north, low pressure out to our west, we probably start turning a little bit milder there. In the second week. That's like what some model output was showing yesterday, and this was generated yesterday, of course. By week 3, it looks like we're going colder again. This is the 20th, 26th of February. The blocking is still there around Greenland, and this low pressure is moving southwards along with the jet stream, which probably allows us to start pulling back in cold easterly winds once again. So probably turning colder and snowier again in the last week of February. And then week 4, which is the 27th of February to the 5th of March, low pressure to our southwest, high pressure still blocking some degree around Greenland. That's probably trying to bring back something a little bit milder from the west-southwest, but maybe struggling. I don't think we want to look beyond day 10, though, with that renewed Scandinavian high and extremely cold air sitting to our east. I don't think we want to look any further at the moment than like next weekend and just beyond it, to be honest. If you've enjoyed this video, please can you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. You'll be able to see future weather content. Tell your friends, family and anybody else to subscribe to GWV as well. We're on the grind to 11k subs. And drop a comment and let us know what you think. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, that's it then. What an exciting update that was, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to be back later on with the channel members live stream. If you are a channel member, then check into that at 5 o'clock. I'm going to try and get Snow Watch done after channel members live stream. I may be pushing it a little bit, but I'm going to try and update Snow Watch for you tonight. I haven't told you what's coming up tomorrow. I better do that. First video tomorrow will be the latest spring update. We'll have GWV Sunny Roundup as well. There's going to be a special video tomorrow that looks at summers following teaser winters. That'll be released around the middle of the afternoon tomorrow. Be a very, very interesting watch. And then we're going to be live streaming from 6 o'clock. So I shall see you either for any of these updates or on the live stream tomorrow at 6. But for this video, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.